Chapter 3. The Holy Knights. As the young boy finally emerged from the depths of the dungeon, his heart swelled with anticipation for the sweet embrace of fresh air and the wonders that awaited him in the outside world. Little did he know, his dreams of freedom were about to be shattered. Instead of the gentle caress of nature, he was met with the chilling sight of gleaming swords, brandished by 5 formidable figures on horseback. These armored warriors exuded an aura of power and dominance, their presence enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. The intricate patterns etched onto their armor revealed their noble status as knights, their unwavering gazes piercing through the boy's soul. A wave of despair washed over the boy as he realized that his journey was far from over. Leo's heart pounded in his chest, his mind racing with fear. The knight's demand for his name and village sent a wave of panic through him. Memories of his past were a blur, but a flicker of hope ignited within him as he remembered the voice that had called out his name. With determination, he mustered the courage to speak. "Leo," he stammered, his voice quivering. The knight's response dripped with condescension as he noted Leo's lack of a last name, branding him a commoner. The other knights shared a knowing look, their faces hardening with judgment. The knight inquired, "Which village do you hail from?" Leo suddenly realized he was in deep trouble. After pondering for a moment, Leo came up with a brilliant plan. He replied to the knight, "I can't seem to recall." "Oh, I understand completely," the knight retorted with a hint of sarcasm, his voice oozing with feigned cheerfulness. "Is that what you were hoping to hear, you foolish lad? I'm not playing games here." Leo winced, realizing that his attempt at humor was not helping the situation. The knight's tone shifted to seriousness and accusation as he continued. "First of all, you illegally raided a dungeon and somehow managed to clear it, despite the immense effort it takes. And now you're telling me that you don't remember where you were born." "Yes," Leo replied, trying to maintain a steady voice. The knight stared at him, clearly taken aback by his straightforward response. "You expect me to believe that?" "Well," Leo shrugged, "that's the only story I have. My memory is like a sieve, especially after the whole dungeon debacle." The lead knight let out a heavy sigh, frustration evident as he pinched the bridge of his nose. "All right, Leo. For now, you're coming with us. We'll sort this out at the camp." Leo nodded, attempting to suppress a smile. "Sounds like a plan. Just one thing. Will I be given a horse, or am I expected to walk? Because, let me tell you, I've had enough surprises for one day." The knights exchanged glances, a few of them struggling to contain their grins at Leo's unexpected humor. Despite the seriousness of the situation, the tension eased slightly as they prepared to escort him back to their camp. As they made their way back, Leo made a decision. It was crucial for him to share his story, hoping to elicit some sympathy or even a small amount of understanding. "Listen," he began, his voice filled with sincerity. "I woke up in that dungeon with no recollection of how I ended up there. I didn't even know my own name until it gradually came back to me. It's all a blur." The knights listened intently, their expressions a mix of skepticism and attentiveness. Leo carefully chose his words, deliberately leaving out any mention of the enigmatic voice, the intricate class system, or his selection as the Otherworldly Knight. He needed to maintain a sense of normalcy to ensure they would take him seriously. "I fought my way through," he continued, "simply trying to survive. I'm just as surprised as you are that I managed to escape unscathed. I have no memory of my village or how I ended up in that dreadful place. All I know is that my name is Leo, and I'm determined to uncover the truth." One of the knights, younger and less stern than the rest, regarded Leo with a hint of pity. "That sounds incredibly difficult. However, you must understand why we're skeptical. It's not common for someone to completely forget their entire life." Leo nodded understandingly. "I comprehend your doubts. If I were in your position, I would be skeptical too. But I assure you, I'm telling the truth to the best of my knowledge." The lead knight, who had remained silent throughout Leo's explanation, finally spoke up. "We will assess the validity of your story once we reach the camp. For now, keep up and refrain from any suspicious behavior." Leo inwardly sighed with relief, grateful that they were at least willing to listen. As they continued their journey, he couldn't help but wonder what awaited him at their camp, and if he would ever uncover the complete truth about his past and the mysterious journey that had befallen him. As we reached the camp, the lead knight took me to the main tent and instructed me to wait outside while he reported to the captain. I stood there, trying to steady my nerves, until finally, they let me in. As I stepped into the tent, I couldn't help but feel the weight of the captain's presence. He exuded authority and power, making me feel small in comparison. His gaze bore into mine, demanding honesty. "Tell me, are you speaking the truth?" he asked in a deep, unwavering voice. I hesitated for a moment, feeling the pressure of his scrutiny. "Yes, sir," I responded, my voice steady despite my nerves. "I have no memory of what happened before waking up in that cell." The captain's intense stare softened slightly, and he leaned back in his chair. The tension in the air dissipated, replaced by a sense of cautious acceptance. "Very well," he finally said, his tone less severe. "I trust your words." Relief flooded through me, and I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. While the captain's demeanor remained serious, I could sense a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. I knew that gaining his confidence was just the beginning of the challenges that lay ahead. The captain's gaze bore into me, as if he could see into the depths of my very being. His next words sent a shiver down my spine. "Display your key," he ordered, his tone brooking no argument. "I know you possess it, but the question is it holy key, demonic key, or dragonized key? You probably don't remember, so let me simplify it for you. If it's holy or dragonized key, you're safe. But if it's demonic key, you face execution." Panic surged within me as the weight of his words sank in. I had indeed mastered the art of controlling ki during my time in the dungeon, but the problem was, the otherworldly ki I possessed didn't fit into any of the categories he mentioned. How could I demonstrate a power that defied his outlined classifications? I can't recall how to do it," I stammered, my voice trembling with fear. The captain's expression softened slightly, as if he empathized with my predicament. "Ah, that's understandable," he remarked, though a trace of suspicion lingered in his eyes. "We'll address it later. Right now, focus on recovering your memories. That's more important." Grateful for the temporary reprieve, I nodded, a sense of relief washing over me. However, as I surveyed the tent, an unsettling feeling settled in. The knowledge that my fate hung in the balance, dependent on powers beyond my control, weighed heavily on my mind. "But we have to confirm you're on our side or not, so let me explain how to do it. Take your sword and try to control the power it possesses. Just try to control it, as the key will listen to you," the captain responded. After this, I had no other option but to reveal it. I knew that the color of the holy key was light yellow and the dragonized key was dark orange, as I could see from the icons in the subclass selection. However, the color of the otherworldly key was dark purple. Leo wondered what they would do to him if they found out he had a foreign key, and what exactly is key. As he tried to control it, he prayed for it to be yellow or orange. The sword glowed with key, and Leo accepted his fate of being tortured. When Leo opened his eyes, he saw his sword glowing in a yellow light. Leo experienced a combination of relief and bewilderment when the mysterious voice announced that a unique characteristic of otherworldly ki had been unlocked: the power to change colors. Relieved, Leo thought he had conquered all the challenges set by God. But his relief was short-lived as the captain suddenly burst into laughter. "So, you are blessed with the holy key. All right, I hereby declare you one of the holy knights," the captain stated. Leo gazed at him with teary eyes, wondering silently if finding peace was indeed such a challenging task.